welcome to Eye on St. Lucie. I am Carrie Patrick, your host for this edition, in which we will discuss the 4 core messages of St. Lucie Public Schools. And today I'm so thrilled to have joining us our Superintendent, Mrs. Genelle Yost. A very warm welcome to you. This is a treat, and we know that one of your missions has been to make sure that we are communicating everything effectively and throughout our community, and this is yet another way to help our viewers understand the 4 core messages of St. Lucie Public Schools.
I thank you for that opportunity.
So let's just start with really why St. Lucie Public Schools is here providing a service to our children and our families in St. Lucie County. We have a very strong mission and vision.
We do, and I was going to say before you mentioned that it is very much connected to our mission. Our purpose is to make certain that our students graduate from safe and caring schools, and that they are equipped with not only the knowledge but the skill and the desire to succeed postgraduately. They may be going on to college, they may pursue a career, but we want them to be well prepared for wherever life takes them beyond the public school system. And we're fortunate to begin our education in St. Lucie Public Schools in pre-K at this point. And so you don't plan for graduation in high school. It begins the first day you begin in our public school system. And so we have to have the end in mind, even for our 3- and 4-year-olds who may be coming in, and we begin building the skill that they will need for success beyond the public school setting.
Well, some of the things that you are sharing highlight this point, and that is that as a superintendent, you've truly been celebrated for your openness, your transparency, making sure that everyone understands what we are doing. And I know that as your couple of years have moved forward, we have been on a journey, and you've associated that journey with a navigation toward excellence. Talk to us a little bit about how you share your message along those navigational lines.
Certainly. We are cruising to excellence, and what many folks do know is that I had the good fortune of reading the book, It's Your Ship, that we have then shared with many throughout not only the public school system, but also our community. And Michael Abrashoff took an opportunity as he joined the USS Benfold as its captain to create a culture that was far different than when he boarded the USS Benfold. The day that he joined the ship as captain, he felt as if there were more sailors who wanted to exit the ship versus enter that culture. And so taking that theme, we want our folks, no matter what our who our stakeholders are, to embrace our public school system. And we want them to feel as if they are welcome, that there is value within the public school system for them. And we want to build upon our foundation to make certain that all of our stakeholders, whether you're a parent, a community member, student, or our staff, that you feel as if you have a voice, and that we can enhance what we have in St. Lucie County by using some common sense approaches to make certain that we're strategic in our approach, that we focus on what's important, and that's how we develop the 4 core messages that we are using today.
And as our captain, when you kicked off this year, you mentioned that there would be no new initiatives because we needed to drive depth to those things that were very important to our mission. And so you outlined those for us, and that has served to help everyone on the ship, so to speak, understand why decisions are made, reasons for doing what we do, and reasons for moving forward in a very, very strategic and determined manner for the sake of our children. Right. Outline those 4 core messages for us.
Certainly, absolutely. The first one has to do with academic excellence and achievement. The second is high quality instruction. The third is safe and caring schools. And the fourth is the recruitment and retention of high quality staff. And so I'd kind of like to take them one at a time, if that's okay with you. And we'll start with the academic excellence and achievement. We know that the state of Florida has an accountability system that is utilized for each of our schools. And we have some wonderful things in St. Lucie County to be proud of. For example, our fourth graders on the writing assessment last year had some of the highest proficiency rates in the state. As a matter of fact, our proficiency rate exceeded the state of Florida as a whole. And we improved greatly in grades 8 and 10. And so overall, we want to brag about our accomplishments, our students' accomplishment, our staff accomplishments in the area of writing. We know that is a skill we will need postgraduately, and it becomes more and more important as we go through the years. So that is certainly an area of excellence that we want to promote. Additionally, we were one of 13 districts throughout the entire state of Florida that was able to see not only progress in one of our end of course exam areas, but in all 4. And so that's something to brag about as well. That's an accomplishment that our high schoolers were able to accomplish, and who helped facilitate that? Our high quality staff, our teachers. So those are 2 areas. We have academic excellence in each of our schools, and so we want to take that information and grow that knowledge and that awareness. Have we, as we cruise to excellence, have we arrived? Not entirely. We always have room for growth. But if we keep our eye on the goal of academic excellence, we have a point to strive for. We can reflect, and we can analyze our progress, and we can adjust our sail, if you will, as we travel towards that goal and deepen our knowledge as educators, and then impart that to students as well. So then that kind of goes hand in hand with our high quality instruction, because who generates the lesson plan? Who makes certain that our students unpack their Florida state standards so that they can perform well, not only in school but in life? And those are our high quality staff members. And it's not just our teachers, it's the entire team of quality staff members. So it might be the bus driver who then greets you in the morning and makes certain that you have a positive attitude as you travel to school, and they establish a relationship with you that then carries over into the school day. Or it might be the individual in our cafeteria who provides the nutritious meal so that you're fortified for those educational lessons every day. It is all of our responsibility. They say that it takes a village to raise the child, and that is true within our system, and the collaboration of our high quality staff for instruction. We build upon best practices, the best practices of Dr. Robert Marzano, and we have a framework, as you know, for teaching and learning that is built upon best practice. And those standards, those best practices enable our students to really reap the benefits of every lesson, each child, every day, which is our motto. And so you have to hire the best and the brightest, and then enable them to do their job, to affirm the impact that they have on students, those relationships that they execute and build upon every day as it relates to not only the academic content, but building relationships, the social skills, the culture that we have within each of our schools.
So I heard our academic excellence, high quality instruction, our recruitment and retention of high quality staff. I see a very keen interconnectedness in there. Again, all of those individuals are the ones who are responsible for our safe and caring schools.
Absolutely. They are connected, and that was strategic. We wanted to make certain that when we indicated there were no new initiatives and we were going to delve deeper into our work, that we had the 4 core messages that were kind of the highlights of our district. And those 4 core messages should enable us to do what we need to do every single day for the students of St. Lucie County. We should demand excellence in our schools every day. Our students, our families should demand that, and we should deliver. And I think we have staff members who are committed to our students, who want to do the best for them every day, And so I think these 4 core messages are easily internalized by our stakeholders. And then we can also ask questions as to what does it mean? How do we reflect? How do we improve our craft in order to make sure that our customer, our students, reap the benefits in a positive way?
Okay. And as a teacher, as a parent, as a student in St. Lucie County, I'm involved in many things, from STEM rap battle, which is coming up, to making certain that I am an active participant in early learning opportunities. These are initiatives: STEM, early learning, the digital infusion. These are things that we have had underway within our district that are truly connected very specifically to our 4 core messages. And I believe we have a slide.
I was going to say that there should be a slide that helps us make those connections. And it would be our initiatives connected to those 4 core messages. So when you look at academic excellence and achievement, you will see the college and career readiness. You will focus on age 3 to grade 3, which is part of our partnership with Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. We want to make sure that those initiatives that are powerful and important to the students and their growth are connected to these 4 messages in some way. So then if you move on to high quality instruction, you mentioned the digital instruction. Our students are digital natives, and we must focus on digital instruction. Not only does it help them engage in the learning each day, but it is a necessary it's a necessary skill that they will need to become successful citizens. And so we have to keep up with the technology. We also need to look at our framework that I mentioned before and capture the best practices that will help our teachers instruct, help our students engage in their learning to the deepest level possible. Then you go down to the bottom, I believe it is, of our graphic, and you look at safe and caring schools. And we have community outreach. I mentioned a moment ago about taking the village. There are so many agencies, there are so many individuals that support us in our partnership. Our volunteers who are there every day. And they're the extra set of eyes and ears and hands for our students who might need a little TLC or a little tutorial support in an area. And where would we be without those folks? We know that those are of great value, and we appreciate those resources. So those are connected to our framework as well in some of our domains, as well as moving over to the other side of our graphic, and we talk about recruitment and retention of high-quality staff. We know that in the state of Florida, our colleges of education do not graduate enough students to fill all the vacancies in our schools throughout the state of Florida, which means in order to recruit and hire the best and brightest for our students, we many times have to go outside the local area. So perhaps we travel to upstate New York or to Michigan to secure staff. But then once they are here, what is it we are going to do to retain them in St. Lucie County? Unfortunately, individuals do not enter the field of education for a long-time career any longer. It's an average stay of 3 to 5 years. So we want to make certain that if we're bringing you from another state, or if you're coming from North Florida down to St. Lucie County, that we can build relationships. We can connect for you, the reason that you want to remain a citizen of this community and continue to work with students within St. Lucie Public Schools. And so you start with a relationship and you maintain a relationship so that we can not only recruit but retain those high-quality staff members in our classrooms as teachers as well as support staff throughout the district.
And just as St. Lucie Public Schools is responsible for recruitment and retention of high-quality staff, we are a very vital part of this community. Our employers are always seeking new talent and actually capitalizing on the talent that we have within our community. We need to share with others the value that St. Lucie Public Schools and St. Lucie County in general brings to our state and to our nation. And that's part of us telling our story. When you were talking about the the strides that we've made in writing and the positive things going on in St. Lucie County, your passion, your excitement just comes through. And one of the exciting things that has occurred is our step into social media, because we have so much to share. You know, there should be no reason why the great things going on in St. Lucie Public Schools is a hidden secret. We need to shout that from the mountaintops, and in so doing, we have definitely put a stronger focus on how we are communicating internally and externally to our stakeholders. And my hat's off to you, because you've been such a model for doing this for all of us. Talk to our viewing audience about what we are doing internally, and then step us into our external communication.
Be my pleasure.
Ways.
And many of them are aligned, our strategies. Internally, we have an opportunity to use social media such as Twitter and Facebook. But additionally, we have Office 365 that has a news feed element as well as a blog. And so we utilize all forms of communication, electronic, through email as well. But these interactive opportunities provide us with an opportunity to get our message out pretty quickly. With our Facebook, we have an opportunity to share it internally. When we focus on, for example, our drama competition that occurred last weekend, and we have St. Lucie, West Centennial High School, and Lincoln Park Academy that received the Critics' Choice Award. And we immediately send that out on social media so that their teachers, their school community can learn about the accomplishments over the weekend. But then conversely to that, our external partners would like to see that also. And we know that we have many, many hits to our social media sites when you've got a photo that accompanies that message that might be of a student or a staff member or a parent who's participating in one of those opportunities for drama or band or any other school-connected activity. And so we want to use that to get our good news out, but we also want to grow it. We know that, for example, our Facebook, we really began that initiative at the beginning of September. And we've got about 220 individuals who like our St. Lucie Public School site. We need to grow that so that our message goes well beyond that immediate core. But we really haven't publicized it, so we need to talk about marketing that particular aspect of social media. But we know that moms tune in to Facebook. We know that parents who may connect from the exterior will look for information on the Facebook page. However, our businessmen within the community many times connect to Twitter more than they would ever dream about connecting to Facebook. So we've got to utilize that data to drive how we disseminate our information, because perhaps the businessmen in the community would like to hear about an internship or a high school initiative that is underway, because these might be their future employees. And yet moms always need to stay connected to what's going on in our schools. So then we have the skyward information that goes to parents specifically about their children. We have email that is utilized with our own employees and newsletters, but we try and use every facet of communication we can to reach all stakeholders, and we would prefer to see you receive the message 2-3 times than not at all. And we still send information releases to the newspaper, but even that is really accessed digitally more frequently than anything else. We don't get the paper thrown in our front yard any longer. And so we have to think outside of just the hard copy that we've come to know in education, and how is it that we can utilize our other forms of media in order to share the good news throughout the district.
Very, very true. So how do we share that good news? Well, it's not just the responsibility of St. Lucie Public Schools, because as parents and businesses, we are partners in education.
Correct.
And so as partners, we would invite people to, number one, download the St. Lucie Public School app. It's very easy to do.
That is true, and they can go to the front page of the website if they need some
There is a
support.
tutorial there. That is correct, and it's just a brief 2-minute tutorial. but simply typing in and doing a search on the app for St. Lucie Public Schools and downloading that. It's a great source of information. It has educator information, parent resources, calendars, athletic events, and then every single school can be linked on our app. If you have an interest in perhaps Parkway Elementary, you can go right to that, just a click away, and it's so easy. So if indeed you're using that, share it with the people that you are sitting with.
Absolutely.
The neat thing is, on the bottom of our app, we've got a direct link to Twitter and Facebook. So you can tune in regularly to find out really what is going on in our schools. And you mentioned some of the things that we were sharing, such as the drama, the celebrations of our children, and the accolades they received at this weekend's event. We have other types of celebrations as well, trainings that are going on, because professional development
that is correct.
Ever present within our school district. So you can see what our professionals are continuing to enhance their skills.
And internally, our own employees can also log into the news feed and to the blogs connected to Office 365 to enhance their pedagogy, their knowledge of their content area and their curriculum. But we do have the connections for our community as well, so they know what type of professional development is underway. For example, the behavior analysis yesterday for our administrators. And I know I saw that on Facebook and on Twitter, so that our general public was aware of some of the training that has been offered to our administrators.
And I believe we have a college night coming up this week.
We do.
We too. Push
tonight.
That in. It is tonight.
It is tonight.
We push that information out in press release format, but also that is a piece that we utilize social media for. So, you know, it is a valuable resource. We need to share that and share it with our friends, share it with our families, and get that message out there.
And add additional likes. Tell your friends.
Add
like
additional likes, always. Like us on
our Facebook page.
And follow us on Twitter. All right. So we are working in a very, very united and systemic system within St. Lucie Public Schools. Just using the navigation theme, we have some buoys. We'll bring that slide up. If you could just recap those 4 core messages and why they're so important for our decision making.
Absolutely. We start with the academic excellence and achievement. And we certainly know that that is one of our primary pillars in education. We not only want to make certain that our students receive the skills that they need in that area, but once we reach excellence and there are outstanding accomplishments, we want to celebrate those. For example, I just received a photo yesterday from one of our students that's in Washington, D.C. at this time. It's a student who is currently at Lincoln Park Academy in 9th grade, who began her journey as a middle school student. And she was up there competing as a representative for the state of Florida. Had an opportunity to meet the President of the United States yesterday. Wow. And so Ms. Hosta has her photo, and I'd love to send that out and share that with others. But what a wonderful accomplishment in the area of science for her, and not only an accomplishment for St. Lucie County, but she's representing the state of Florida and now has a connection to the White House. So we want to brag about our students all along the way. Then we talk about high quality instruction. We know that we are hiring quality instructors, our teachers and support staff, to make certain that the journey to excellence and to graduation is a positive experience for students. And so we're going to offer them instruction not only in a rigorous area of content, but also infuse digital instruction and make sure that we have real-world connections along the way for our students. Also, the third message focuses on a safe and caring school. We hope that every part of the experience that our students and our families face is a positive, safe, caring experience with our schools. And we want to make certain that we are welcoming, that we are informative, and that transparency that you referenced before, that we're as transparent as we can possibly be in our communication and education of students. We want there to be an exchange of information. This should not just be one-way communication, so we welcome the feedback of others. And then finally, we look at our recruitment and retention of high-quality staff. And we will bring the best and the brightest to St. Lucie County. But once they arrive, we are committed to making a difference with our employees, having them feel welcome, having them feel valued, let them know that they are truly making a contribution to the development of the young people within the district. And that will continue. So those are our 4 messages that are connecting us to our mission, where we provide a safe and caring environment, where we address the skill, the knowledge, and desire of our students to succeed. And so no matter what path they pursue postgraduately, they should be ready.
College and career ready.
Absolutely.
You have a very positive mantra that you use to describe our journey as it relates to sailing or navigating the seas. As our time draws to a close, will you please share that with us and any final thoughts that you may have?
And I hope that it will be projected on the screen as well. As you know, many times, we talked about the drama a moment ago, when someone goes out on the stage, we'll wish them luck and we will say,
break a leg.
Absolutely. Well, we understand that nautically, when you wish someone good luck, we say, fair winds and following seas. And I certainly wish fair winds and following seas to all of our individuals within the community. We will not educate our students alone. It does take the community outreach, qualified educators, and the focus on our 4 core messages that will help us develop our citizens of tomorrow.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure that our viewing audience has learned a great deal about the 4 core messages. St. Lucie Public School is moving toward excellence every day for the sake of our children and for the sake of our community. I thank you for joining us and invite you again to please download the St. Lucie Public School app for information. Again, join us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter as a way to stay up to date and in tune with your St. Lucie Public Schools.